Hi, it's Kristen and Scott from Generation Acres Farm, and in today's video we're going to be sharing with you a bit of an update on where we are in the home build process, as well as some tips and ideas for people who may be getting ready to start a home build process, some things that we've learned along the way, just some tips and ideas to help make that process a little bit smoother for those of you out there that may be heading that direction, building your own home, that kind of thing. We are a family of 6 with a desire to spend more time together, live a more sustainable and self-sufficient lifestyle while learning hard work, responsibility, and valuable life skills along the way. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to start with the tips and kind of advice from our experience so far. We're going to go through those, and then at the end we're going to share an update on the progress and just where we are with the home build and when we think we'll be breaking ground, that kind of thing. We're really excited to share with you that today's video is in collaboration with Aaron and Rachel of Johnson Branch Farm. We've been watching their channel for a long time, really since about the time that they started their channel. We've been enjoying their videos. They share a lot of gardening tips, and they even did some market gardening this year. They have added rabbits and goats to their homestead. I found their channel when we were looking into purchasing this land, and we weren't sure if we were going to be doing a mobile home on it or building a house or what we were going to do, and so I ended up finding their channel that way. And so they have a single wide mobile home on their property. They bought raw land and brought it in, so they share a lot about that process, and that's what their video is going to be about, sharing more about kind of what that process was like. And so we'll be able to kind of compare what we've learned about building a home and then what their process was like to pull in the mobile home over there. So when you're done watching our video, you can click the link in the description box below to go over there and check out their video all about the mobile home. And I think you'll really enjoy their channel, so make sure you subscribe when you're over there.
So the very first thing that we considered as we're establishing our homestead is what type of housing we were going to utilize. Of course, there's investments we want to make into the land, so an alternative type housing would definitely free up a little bit more finance to do that kind of thing. So we looked into tiny housing, putting in a fifth wheel, RV, manufactured home, all different kinds of options. In our case, our city's pretty restrictive. For example, tiny homes not allowed anywhere in the city. You can't put an RV on raw land and live in it, and there's all kinds of things like that are restrictions, and well and sewage and things, considerations. And so we determined that building would be the best option for us, and that's what we're pursuing.
So yeah, it's a good idea to just check out all your options and decide exactly what it is that you want, and a big part of that should be calling your city and finding out what is allowed and what isn't allowed before you move forward with any of the options. So once you decide that building a home is the option for you, then the next step will be to go online and look at house plans to figure out what it is that you want. There are quite a few websites that we found quite helpful that have a lot of house plan options. You can filter them by how many bedrooms, square footage, how, a 2-story, 1-story, that kind of thing. I'll put some links in the description box below to some of our favorite places with favorite websites with plans. So that's a good next step, is to figure out, the different things that you want in a house.
So what I recommend is really just think about the way that you live your life, essentially. You may not find a house plan that's perfect. What we're doing is taking a couple plans and kind of meshing them together. For example, with us, it was really important to have what you might call a drop zone or a mud room at every entrance of the house. We've got entrance at the front, the back, and through the garage. At each one, we wanted to have an area you can put your boots and your coat. Being out on land, having small children, things like that, we felt that was important, that they're not tracking that into the house. So good mud rooms, areas to kind of put your things down when you come in. Another one for us, with us having a homestead, is we wanted a nice big pantry. And so those were some top priorities for us as we thought about, our everyday life. Where's their, sports equipment going to go, or different things like that. Just think through those things, and that way you can design it in the way that works perfect for your family. You can also be a little bit more efficient with the square footage that way. Of course, when you build, you're going to pay per square foot, and so sometimes you can shrink the square footage down if you can be a little bit more efficient with your particular lifestyle. Now, I don't personally recommend actually purchasing the set of plans from the different websites. A lot of times they're going to have to be modified by an architect to meet your specific city codes, so you may end up just wasting that money if you purchase it from the website. So I'd meet with your builder before purchasing those plans and see what they recommend.
So after you've picked out a few different plans, the next thing you want to do is just kind of get an idea of the finishes and things that you want in your home. And this is going to be helpful for when you meet with your builder, because they're going to ask questions like, what kind of counters are you thinking? What kind of flooring? How about, do you want vinyl siding on your house or brick? different things like that. So it's a good idea to just kind of go through the home and maybe jot down a few things like, oh, we're fine with just builder grade carpet in the kids' bedrooms, or we definitely want hardwoods in the main living, things like that. So just get some ideas down, jot them down, so then when you are ready to meet with the builder, you can take those in and they'll be able to give you just a better estimate of what the house will cost, knowing the kind of finishes and things that you want in your home.
So the next step, of course, is to choose a builder. I recommend definitely interview a few of them and just try to get as many questions answered about the process as you can. How many years have they been in business? How do they handle changes? For example, lumber right now is really fluctuating tremendously in price, and each builder handles those changes differently. So ask some of those questions. How do you handle those changes? Take a look at your contract. That way you can make sure you have a really good idea of what you're going to get into once you sign those papers, that all of a sudden your price isn't going to change dramatically. We also found maybe one of the best resources to determining which builder is going to work best for you is referrals. Asking the neighbors, in our case, who had built their homes, talking to friends, different things like that. We felt like we could get the most honest referral, honest feedback. Of course, a lot of builders have positive reviews on their website. That's great. But we want to just ask people who could give us a more honest, candid opinion. And we really relied pretty heavily on referrals, I think, for our selection. Interviewing the builders, getting a feel for it. Some builders rely primarily on contractors and mostly write checks to different people doing the different services. Some builders are very hands-on. We wanted a hands-on builder who's more highly involved in the process, doing a lot of the work. And we found for us that actually drove the price down a little bit because there's not that kind of middleman markup. The builders that are more hands-on were able to give us a little better price.
And going into that meeting with the builder, having your finishes and your house plans and things kind of picked out, they should be able to give you a pretty accurate estimate of the price per square foot and that kind of thing for the home. Something that we did notice is that the price can fluctuate a lot based on the builder, so that's why we are definitely recommending that you reach out to a bunch of different builders and try to get estimates from them, because we have seen a fluctuation of up to $100,000 difference just from talking from one builder to another. So that's a crucial step in this process, making sure that you are getting the best price for your home.
And of course, a huge element of building your own home is the financing element of it. Construction loans can be a little bit challenging, especially if you own your own home and you're trying to finance the build at the same time. I recommend, similar to the builders, talk to several different lenders. Different lenders offer different loan products. Some of them have two separate closes, one for the construction, one for the final end loan once you complete construction. And of course, that adds cost because you have to close twice. Some of them have maybe more of a construction to perm loan, which is only one close that converts at the end automatically. Lots of different products to consider. Some of the bigger banks offer different products than the more local farmers credit unions, things like that. And so it's good to talk to different lenders and get an idea of the different products that they offer and find the one that's going to be the best fit for you.
All right, so now we're going to update you on where we are in the home build process. So we are currently, we've picked a builder, we've met with him, we've talked about finishes and things like that, and we have basically turned our plans into an architect, and they're going to be writing them up with the changes and things that we've made to them, and then we will meet with him and then we'll go over the plans, and if there are things we need to tweak again, then we'll tweak them again, that kind of thing. So that's happening.
For our land, we're also on well and septic, so we're working with a soil scientist to try to determine the best location for the home and where the septic field's going to be, different things like that. Lots of decisions to be made.
So there's a lot going on, and we are hoping that if everything kind of goes as we are hoping it will, that over the next few months we'll kind of button up the stuff with the soil scientist and the architect and basically get everything ready to be submitted to the city for approval and permits, that kind of thing. We've heard it can take several months, especially with the current pandemic and things going on. Things just are tending to take a lot longer, so we're giving it several months, trying not to rush, and we're trying to have patience with this, and we're hoping that if everything goes as planned, we'll be able to break ground in the spring, maybe in March depending on the weather, and that would put us in our home hopefully by the end of the summer. So that's the update so far.
The thing we're learning about this process is it definitely does take some patience. Like Kristen mentioned, we're working on getting our plans submitted and things like that. They recommend at least a couple of months to get that through the city. We're the kind of people, once we make a decision, we like to go and just move on it. Doesn't really work that way with home building. So if you're getting into this process, just go into it, be prepared to be patient. Try not to rush the process too much. Take your time as you go through the different steps. Even if you want to push the pace, there are certain elements of it that are just going to take time. Yeah. So just be prepared to enjoy the process.
We'd love to hear from you. What was your experience like if you've built a home, or maybe you just purchased a home, and are there certain things about your home that you really love that you would, suggest to someone else? Oh, make sure you include this in your house, or that kind of thing. We'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. And we appreciate you watching this video today. Don't forget to click the link down below and go check out Aaron and Rachel's video, where they're going to be talking about how they brought their mobile home onto their property as just another option. If you enjoyed this video today, we would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. And that's it for today's video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.